right, 49er fans, let's jump into a 49er Report mailbag video. A lot of subscribers, as you see our subscriber link right down there, youtube.com/49ers TV, have been asking questions, and we will answer as many as we possibly can. Let's go and jump into our very first one, and that comes from David, my man. He says, besides Hyder, Armstead, or Kinlaw, who gets more quarterback hits? That's tough. Armstead or Bosa. Hyder, it's got to be Bosa, right? I mean, Bosa gets their sacks count technically as quarterback hits, so I'd say Bosa overall. Although, don't count out maybe Eric Armstead having a bounce back year after kind of a down 2020. If that's your starting defensive line, they're going to look pretty darn good and get a lot of quarterbacks on their butts and on the ground, and that is good news for the 49ers secondary and the defense overall. Justin, super chat, let's see it. He says, hashtag 49ers, if we don't go quarterback in the first round, what do you think of Mond from A&M in the second or third round? He'll be a decent backup to develop, and you won't have to give Mullins that $6 million a year. I don't hate it. I've said before, I'm not a big Kellen Mond fan. I, of course, grew up a lot of my life in Texas. I've seen a lot of Texas A&M games. I watched a lot of Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond has not really shown me anything from an NFL quarterback level. He did a decent job final year with Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, but he's not somebody that I would really want to give a second-round draft pick to go ahead and pick up. You can get a better starter with a second-round draft pick in terms of, places of need, like offensive line or cornerback or some other spot on the 49ers. But if you want to get him in the third or fourth round, I would listen to that a little bit harder. I think you get a quarterback and sometime during this draft to back up Jimmy Garoppolo, at least from a backup perspective. But if they don't go one in the first or second round, I would do it maybe in the third or fourth. But I'm not exactly thrilled at the idea of going ahead and adding Kellen Mond. Okay, again, you guys have any questions, make sure you guys are subscribed and join us for our live mailbag, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. And we got a goal right now, okay? Listen, we are so close to 33,000 subscribers. Look how close we are. We're at 32,683 subscribers right now. We want to get that to 33,000 by our next live show. So make sure you guys subscribe down below. Of course, if you're watching this at a later date and you're not a subscriber, then you missed a chance to ask me questions. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the 49ers Report. All right, Harry 18. It's like Prince Harry. There he is. Meghan Markle's husband. What does this say? John Johnson or Marcus Maye to replace Tart? Ooh, that is tough overall. Let me think about this. Honestly, I would go with Marcus Maye, even though he was a Jet last year, and even though, listen, the stats aren't bad overall. If I had to pick between the two, and that's the question, give me Marcus Maye because he was better than, I think, John Johnson in 2020. I get the idea of bringing a Ram over, maybe learn about the Rams' defense, and then what the players like and dislike, but I think Marcus Maye would make a lot of sense. I think New York's going to try to re-sign him first off, but Marcus Maye to me would make a little bit more sense than John Johnson. Thank you, Prince Harry. Prince Harry's got to be a Niner fan. Fiery red Harry's got to like the 49ers. Come on. I mean, it's that simple. Let me ask you guys. John Johnson or Marcus Maye, who would you rather have as the safety? This would be a pinned comment down below in the comment section. Type JJ down below for John Johnson, or of course, type MM for Marcus Maye. Let me see what you guys think right now down below in the comment section. Next question here comes from Daniels. Should we the 49ers sign Keanu Neal as your Trubisky Tart replacement? Well, as I say, I live in Atlanta. I know a lot about Keanu Neal. He was cut by the Falcons a couple of days ago because the Falcons are in desperate need of cap relief. I like the idea of Keanu Neal. He's dealt with injuries over the portion of his career. He's really good in 2016, a big part of that Super Bowl run for the Atlanta Falcons. I would be interested. It depends on the price. Like, how good does Keanu Neal think he still is? Does he deserve $8 or $9 million a year, $6 to $7 million a year, or $3 to $4 million a year? I don't know. I would be interested, though, because, of course, covering the Falcons here in Atlanta and watching a lot of their games just because that's the only thing on TV. When the Niners aren't being played, then Neal, to me, has still got a little bit of game left in him. Awesome Fox. Oh, no. Who is it? Demented Dwarf. Let's do that one. Is that Squidward? Goodness gracious. Trade Bosa for a second pick and take Sewell. Defense was top 5 without him. Man, I wouldn't do that. I'll be honest. I would not do that. Listen, if you really need a left tackle, Rashawn Slater from Northwestern will probably be there at number 12, or at least pretty darn close. Why not keep Bosa? For one thing, sign Trent Williams, which I'm fine with. But if you don't want to re-sign Trent Williams, then go ahead and take Rashawn Slater. There are a lot of good offensive linemen in this draft. You don't need Penei Sewell just to go ahead and, bolster the left side of the offensive line. The offensive line, not that bad. I am against trading Nick Bosa, and I've said that for weeks, and I will remain against it. I don't need the second overall pick for Sewell anyway. Awesome Fox. There it is. Look at that. That's an awesome Fox picture. Who the Niners try to trade for this offseason? Who should the Niners go ahead and trade for this offseason? This one's tough. I mean, you start looking at these questions and you go like, would you want them to trade for a wide receiver? Would you want them to go ahead and trade for maybe a cornerback? I don't see them trading for anybody, but you can kind of ask yourself, what about trading for Odell Beckham Jr.? Is he wanting to go ahead and stay in Cleveland? I mean, that's a real possibility. He didn't seem very happy there, although now Cleveland's good, so maybe he wants to stay. I can't really think of anybody overall. I just can't. I don't know. Who do you guys think that they should go ahead and trade for? Oh, actually, we got another question here. What's this one say? DJ says, trade for, look at that, right on cue. Trade for OBJ. It's almost like I knew it. Trade for OBJ. Again, how much does OBJ cost? That's the question. Is OBJ going to cost like a second? I don't think so. Fourth or a fifth? Listen, I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. And actually, I think the betting odds right now for OBJ are in, and San Francisco has some pretty good betting odds. So if you want to jump on this with our friends at BetUS, because you can't bet on NFL games right now, you can, of course, bet on a lot of different stuff in the NFL. Do it with our friends at chatsports.com/49bet. Use that promo code Niners125 for 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. And then you feel like maybe OBJ gets traded? How about the odds right now? Plus 375 going to the 49ers. I don't know why the Rams are there. Like, what do the Rams have? They go ahead and trade for OBJ. That one's kind of ridiculous. I think the Bucks, Patriots, and Browns are more likely than the Rams. Right now, though, if you want to bet on OBJ being a San Francisco 49er, the odds are in your favor. You bet $10, you win $37.50. You bet $100, you go ahead and win $375 overall. And of course, you have any questions in terms of, how do you get started with BetUS? Or what are some other bets that I can do? Email us your questions. See it down below me right here, 49ers@chatsports.com. You can win a lot of money right now betting on OBJ to go ahead and be a 49er. That email, again, 49ers@chatsports.com. Okay, next question comes from M. Carr. Sign J.C. Jackson or bring back Verett and Spoon. I'd rather have Verett, honestly. I would much rather have Verett. And I mean, I guess Witherspoon, because if he would be cheap, I'm fine with that. I'd rather, of course, have Verett and a cornerback drafted at number 12 overall. I've said that. I like Verett Horn or Verett and Kevin Farley or Surtain, maybe. Very exciting. Either way, I'll be out on Jackson. I'd rather bring back Jason Verrett. I think you got to reward players for playing well. Looks like they should go ahead and re-sign Kerry Hyder. Definitely re-sign Jason Verrett. Marcus Palmer, he says, trade Jimmy G, go heavy on free agent cornerback Dak, then use extra draft capital for corner or O-line. I keep reading that the Cowboys are going to re-sign Dak Prescott. Now, we keep hearing that, and we've heard that for like years at this point. They have not done it. So I don't think Dak's going to be eventually able to be a free agent just because he's going to re-sign with Dallas. But, I mean, I guess maybe. But yeah, you got to get rid of Garoppolo. I mean, this is a lot of dominoes to go ahead and figure out. But I do like your idea of extra draft capital on cornerback and offensive line. I'm fine with that, although re-sign Trent Williams, and then it's cornerback and pass rusher. But that's just me. But I don't think Dak's going to be a free agent, honestly. I think he's going to go ahead and re-sign with the Dallas Cowboys, and that'll be the end of the should we sign Dak Prescott questions. This one's good. Alex T says, should we compete with Broncos to go get Deshaun Watson? Okay, here's my thoughts on this. And listen, producer Sam also runs our Denver Bronco channel here at Chat Sports. So if you are a Bronco fan, you got to check out his work. He does a fantastic job covering Denver. And listen, Sam and I talk about this. He does not think that Deshaun Watson will end up a Denver Bronco just because, it's a lot to go ahead and trade for Deshaun Watson. Although, as we both agreed, Watson does have to be traded at some point. He went again, had a meeting just the other day with the Houston Texans where he said, trade me. So I'm all for going for Deshaun Watson. I've said before, I think 49ers, I think the Denver Broncos should. But you cannot give up an unreal amount to go ahead and get a quarterback. I mean, okay. Again, is Watson worth a lot? Yes. Is he worth 4 first-round draft picks, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner? No, it's too much. Like, just draft Justin Fields if that's the case. If you need a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, get Justin Fields. I'm not saying he's as good, but I still would go ahead and do that over giving up the moon to go ahead and get Deshaun Watson. So I think Sam agrees that Denver would love to get Deshaun Watson, but the price looks right, at least right now, be a little bit too expensive. DT says, Niners have enough money to extend Fred Warner next season. They should, and they will make money if they don't have enough money. So looking at the cap space going into 2022, the Niners are going to be in a pretty decent spot. It'll depend on who the quarterback is. Like if you have a rookie quarterback versus Jimmy Garoppolo's contract versus Deshaun Watson's contract, that'll have a big impact in it. But they will make room. I'll tell you right now, 0% chance that they would let Fred Warner go ahead and enter free agency. There's just no way. There's literally no way. J-Rod Cortez, I think, says, we're not draft a wide receiver, and if we do, who should it be? I would love to see De'Ami Brown with the Niners. I like De'Ami Brown, the guy out of UNC. I think he's a good later round draft pick for San Francisco. I I've said before that you take a wide receiver in the later parts of the draft. You don't take one in the first or second round. You don't need one in the first or second round. Technically, if you re-sign Kendrick Bourne and you get a healthy Jalen Hurd, I feel really good overall about the 49ers wide receiver core. I would take somebody else because there's no guarantee you re-sign Kendrick Bourne, and there's no guarantee, obviously, Jalen Hurd cannot get injured again because that's all he seems to do. Big Baylor player, great guy, love him, but can't stay healthy, and that's obviously a big problem. But I would, listen, De'Ami Brown makes a lot of sense. I think I did a wide receiver video for the 49ers a couple of days ago, so check that one out, and later on after this video is done. But taking one later in the draft, I'm for. You get my seal of approval. Noah, GQ, Penei, I think they say his name. Will Jed York ever let go of the 49ers and put them in better hands? I have no idea, honestly. No, I don't know if Jed York has terrible overall. Been a terrible owner. He hasn't been the best owner overall, but he's not getting rid of them anytime soon. Let's say that he is not getting rid of them anytime soon. Tino says we don't re-sign Williams. Can we get Lindsey and Sheriff? Corey Linsley and Sheriff. Yeah, I don't think you have the money for both. I don't think both would go ahead and make it onto the 49ers budget right now. I still think they're going to sign Trent Williams. I'm a little worried why it's taking so long. And maybe Trent Williams wants to test the free agent market and make even more money, but I feel really good they're going to go ahead and re-sign Trent Williams. So I don't want to think about Linsley or Brandon Sheriff if I guess only when they don't re-sign Trent Williams, but they wouldn't be able to go get both. I think they have to get one because again, the Niners don't have a ton of money. Is there a 49er free agent you guys want? We haven't mentioned yet. Is there a free agent left tackle or maybe a wide receiver or maybe somebody else with the 49ers to go ahead and re-sign? Let me know who that is down below right now in the comment section, as I want to see what you guys are thinking in terms of who the 49ers could go ahead and get. Let me know with the comments that we see right now. I see Patrick Peterson is one that's been thrown around right there. We talked about Patrick Peterson a lot here on the channel. I like the idea, but how much money does Patrick Peterson want to go ahead and have them, pay him? I absolutely have no idea. We, of course, discuss a lot of free agent stuff here on the 49ers Report, so make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/49ers TV. That is what you put in your URL above me, or you go below me somewhere down there and hit the big red subscribe button to go ahead and subscribe. We're approaching 33,000 subs. That is so many. You want to get it, though. 33,000 subs. That way we can keep blasting off as being the best overall 49er channel on YouTube, and you guys know that's 100% accurate. Okay, next question here comes from Demented Dwarf. Would you trade Jimmy G in a second rounder for Gilmore? He's like Verett without the injury history, and trading Jimmy clears the cap. I'd be fine with that. Sure. I mean, listen, we talked about the Patriot tie there with a guy like obviously Jimmy Garoppolo. So, I mean, yeah, I would not hate that. That would be a fine trade overall. The RAMB bro said, should we trade for Marcus Mariota? Apparently the Marcus Mariota trade stuff has died down. The trade market for Marcus Mariota has died down dramatically based on a tweet I saw from Ian Rappaport today. I'm out on Mariota. Listen, he had that really good game against, was it Kansas City as a Raider this year? He had a really good game against somebody. He was really fun, but I am out on that one overall. I would rather get somebody else. Roddy says, re-sign Hyder to replace Ford or draft a DN. I'm for re-signing Kerry Hyder. I don't know you can afford him, but I am for re-signing Kerry Hyder. I think the draft has some decent defensive ends, but I think Hyder really proved that he needs to go ahead and be an option here for the 49er pass rush. I think alongside Nick Bosa this year, he can have an even better year overall. I am very much for re-signing Kerry Hyder. Sugar Shane with a super chat. Let's see it. Instead of Watson, but trading number one overall and take Lawrence. Thoughts? Cheaper than Watson would not be on a rookie deal. I don't think it's cheaper, honestly. Trading up to number one overall cost a ridiculous amount. It would cost at least 3 first-round draft picks. So if you're saying it'd be cheaper than Deshaun Watson, I would disagree. Now, would you rather have Lawrence or Watson? Which Clemson quarterback? I don't know if I can answer that. I think both are going to be really good. I think Trevor Lawrence is as good as they possibly come. But I don't think trading up to number one would make that cheaper in any sort of way.